Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Entertainment Expansion. We are your host, Tyler Callahan, and of course, Mike Ferrante. Mike, how you doing?
Just splendid, my friend. How are you doing on this fine evening?
Well, doing okay. I've been catching up, trying to actually use my Netflix subscription, and I finally watched one of the big films from last year. Clearly, everyone loved it. It's in the public zeitgeist still 6 months later. Of course, I'm talking about Red Notice, which up until The Gray Man coming out in a week or two from Netflix was the most expensive Netflix film has ever made at about $200 million. It stars, of course, obviously Ryan Reynolds, The Rock, and Gal Gadot. This movie has had a troubled history to get released. First, it was a Universal film with The Rock and Gal Gadot, and then it went to Netflix, added in Ryan Gosling, boom. Not Ryan Gosling, Ryan Reynolds. Yep, too many Ryans here, too many Canadian Ryans, let's be honest. Yeah, throw in Ryan Reynolds, and you got yourself a movie, possible franchise. And it actually wasn't that bad as people were saying. I enjoyed myself.
That's where we're gonna disagree slightly.
Okay. Look, I'm just saying it's better than Free Guy. Okay.
Yes and yes and no, but that's a debate for another time.
Okay.
So this is 100% a very serviceable movie. You're gonna sit down. You're not gonna have to worry about paying attention to the plot, knowing any details. You shouldn't be expecting anything new from this. It's not a movie that reinvents the genre. It does have some nice action set pieces from time to time.
That it does.
You get some decent performances from Ryan Reynolds, The Rock, and Gal Gadot, but they're kind of just playing the roles we've seen before. So once again, going back to nothing groundbreaking.
Well, it's nothing groundbreaking, I'll give you that. This does not reinvent the wheel of a globe-trotting adventure film, but I think this movie plays to its strengths well. Compared to, say, Jumanji 3 with Kevin Hart and The Rock. You know, it's the same short jokes over and over again. The Rock's too tall, The Rock's too handsome, Kevin Hart's too short. Like, that gets a bit grating when they just kind of play themselves in those films. The second movie in that case was fine, but I would say here, you're right. They played themselves for the most part. They're not trying to play these really deep, well-written characters. And the plot is serviceable, right? You have to, like, toward the end of the film, when they finally get to know more about The Rock's father and all that, and it's like insert somewhat deep backstory here. Like, it's just kind of like it's like if you did Mad Libs, but like for a $200 million film. Insert adjective here, insert action set piece here, and so on and so forth. Yes. But I think it works well. I would even go so far as to say this is one of Gal Gadot's better roles. She seemed to be having fun with it, and I think that comes off well than in, say, her acting in Wonder Woman 1984. Ryan Reynolds was a lot more controlled than, say, in Free Guy, and it worked well. And The Rock's just a Rock. I mean,
yeah.
He literally can have chemistry with a palm tree if he tried hard enough. So it's,
he's just got charisma.
Yes.
The Rock is just a very charismatic guy, and his roles usually tend to that. As far as Gal Gadot's finest acting, it's kind of a low bar, man.
I'm not saying it's a high bar. I'm just saying for her.
She's eye candy in the Fast and Furious movies, for the most part. I think we can agree on that.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman actually did some acting there. You got Death on the Nile once again, nothing special. And then 84 is just the lowest of the low. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And as far as Ryan
for her
Reynolds,
career, it's up there.
We're saying the same thing. You're just kind of looking at it. You're just kind of looking at it as the glass is half full, and I'm telling you, no, pal, that's half empty. Yeah, I mean, I can't really shit talk Ryan Reynolds too much. I mean, even though he kind of plays the same fucking person every time, same sarcastic.
He really has become The Rock in that sense.
I feel like it kind of works out better for him because at least it's still funny.
I mean, most of the time it's still funny. At times it can be annoying. He wasn't annoying in this movie, but he can be.
Yeah, of course. So, yes, they kind of played their strong suits. Just some minor plot problems that I had with the film.
Sure.
Sorry, spoilers ahead if you didn't see this movie yet. We'll get to whether or not I think you should watch it later on. But shock, The Rock is actually a bad guy. This whole time he was working with Gal Gadot, and they were a couple, a severe power couple. He wasn't even working for the FBI. So he was literally just playing Interpol the entire time. And everyone just kind of bought it. No one did some fact checking at all. Everyone's like, oh, okay, you say you're with the FBI. Cool. Gotcha. Americans, nice. And it's just kind of like, really? No one wanted to fact check this guy? No one.
I mean, to be fair, they did try to. Which uh, look, I mean, hold on. I'm gonna push back on this. The Interpol agent did try to fact check once she saw the 8 million in his bank account, his Swiss bank account. He's like, all right, well, that's kind of weird. Let me go talk to the FBI and see what's up with this dude. Except the call got, which is weird. It's like the call got routed to Gal Gadot, who says we have never heard of this person, which leads to them finding out he's a fake and then going to jail, which is all part of the plan.
Yes.
So you can't say Interpol didn't try. They did make one phone call.
Yeah, but I feel like that phone call should have been made a lot sooner. Like, American embassy, like, hey, you didn't want to give us a heads up you're sending a federal agent over here for this?
I would agree with you. I feel like that's not more the issue, but I feel like the issue should be like he should have been CIA or maybe State Department, something where like if you show up with credentials, they would not question at first. State Department, CIA, they wouldn't. FBI is like, well, you're domestic usually. Why are you here?
Yeah,
Why are you in the middle of Europe? Yeah, so I would say that's less of a plot issue, more of a script. Like, just change his title, because like, it would really matter if he said, well, I'm from the U.S. State Department, from the embassy over there. They might be like, yeah, cool, that makes sense.
Or how about the Treasury?
I guess.
Secret Service.
Yeah, Secret Service deals with a lot of money laundering. If they could just tie that in a bit with money laundering, Secret Service would roll right in.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that, because FBI very rarely does international stuff. They don't do it that often. So yeah, you would think you'd double check that.
Like almost immediately, because it's kind of like stepping on toes, and most governments aren't really a fan of that.
And look, I'll give. I'm against you on the twist. I thought the twist was great and was actually
I feel like
fun.
I saw it coming from a mile away, though.
I honestly didn't. But one thing that did bug me when they did the twist, though, is that when they had flashbacks, they were showing flashbacks to scenes we actually didn't see, with them kissing, or with them saying something else. There was only, I think, 1 or 2 scenes that matched up how we saw it, but the rest were like, hey, here's the scene, but with an extra piece of dialogue that we, the audience, did not see, but now it's supposed to be, oh, mind blown. Because like the one that sticks out for me was when they're dancing and she says to him, did he tell you about the third egg? And that's them having a relationship, like mask off, hey, what's the update on the thing? But then like when they kiss, when they dance, or when they're quote unquote fighting in the vault, like we don't see the kiss first time. Like if we saw the kiss first time, we're like, well, that's weird, and then we get smacked with the twist. So I think they could have laid the groundwork. I feel it's kind of lazy that they throw in those scenes that we, the audience, didn't see, because how are we supposed to know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's be honest here.
Well, I don't know. To go on to that, like, and The Rock brings up a good point. It's like, really, the electric shock? Really? You electrocuting them with the cables? Like, come on. Like, I will say, committed to the bit. But yeah, it's like, I don't know. I feel like if we're just taking that realistically, that'd be like a no-go for me.
Well, yeah, but no, you're not Dwayne The Rock Johnson. And let's be honest, if you were going to get a multi-million-dollar payday, you might think about bearing through some electric shock.
Okay, yeah, fine, but sure.
Let's be honest here. I mean, I didn't have an overall problem with, like I said, there were some good action set pieces in the film that made it is an entertaining watch. I would say that you're going to be entertained watching this movie. It's, as a wise friend once said to me, it's a good popcorn movie. You can sit down. You don't have to think about it. Just enjoy what's the action going on in front of you and the silly kind of plot. And if that's what's going for, it definitely succeeds. But to say it's a great movie, I wouldn't go that far.
I would agree with that. I mean, obviously, 5-10 years down the road, people aren't going to remember this, but I do feel like,
No.
oh, hold on. I'm not talking about the movie itself. I'm talking about the production of the movie. Because I do feel, look, there's a lot of green screen. And yes, they hopped around the world. 90% of this film was filmed in Georgia. And you can clearly see the CGI in full effect for the bull scene.
Yeah.
The CGI for that was noticeably bad. But I do think we have to remember they filmed a lot of this movie at the end of 2020 during COVID, a month or two before vaccines. So they were kind of limited in safety wise in what they could do in filming. So I do think, given the fact of all those conditions, this turned out to be a pretty good movie with the effects and all that. Obviously, the green screen can be improved. I do hope for the sequels now that they've ordered, they'll actually film on location. I also do think, going forward, no offense to the 3 actors, they should each take a little bit of a pay cut. I think the fact that they each got 20 million each way is a little excessive for this kind of film.
I agree, but at the same time, I will give respect to it because that's true equality right there, Chief.
No, it is.
And
It is.
we've never seen that in movie history in a while.
Oh, you mean when Robert Downey Jr. gets 50 and everyone else gets like 10?
Yeah. Well, to be fair, he kind of worked that into his contract.
Oh yeah, no, I know, but yeah, but no, this is a popcorn movie, and it came out right before the holidays, right? Thanksgiving and Christmas. It came out at a perfect time because he ain't releasing this during the summer, holidays time. You could put on the background, some of the families talking, the rest are watching it. It's perfect movie for that. It's got good action. It's got, I would say, solid acting all around. Again, they're just playing themselves, so at this point, how much of it is acting? But
yeah,
again, like 1984, it's not noticeably bad, and the story is serviceable. Could the story be better? Yes, but look, you and I both know, and I assume a lot of people listening know, Netflix movies right now are very hit and miss. Very hit and miss from Netflix. You're not getting the consistent quality you would get from, say, Warner Brothers or Universal. So, considering some of their movies they've released lately, this is one of the better ones, I think.
Well,
not the best.
To that defense, it is one of the better ones, but look at how much capital went into it.
Yeah, 200 million again. One of the best and being the most
Netflix
expensive.
Pumps out a lot of garbage, so you can't say, well, it's one of the better Netflix movies. Well, yeah, it also got a drastically different budget than a lot of the garbage Netflix movies we get.
That's true, but
so it's hard to kind of compare apples to seahorses.
Well, I mean, I do think it holds its own against some other movies released last year. Like personally, I think it's better than F9, Black Widow.
Well, once again, low bars, but yes,
but again,
you are correct.
But if we're taking all right, it's a $200 million blockbuster. Let's compare it to 150, $200 million blockbusters from other studios, the old time studios. It holds its own against those. Now,
it does.
Is it better than Spider-Man No Way Home? It's not. It's not better, than it's not better than Shang-Chi, but it's up there. It holds its own. It does well compared to them. So I think personally, giving it a recommendation, I'd say it's worth a watch. It's a fun time if you're looking for something, again, just to relax, have a little fun, have a couple laughs. It's great.
So this might surprise you. I would also recommend giving this a watch under one condition. You know exactly what you're getting into. Don't go in there looking for a movie that's reinventing the wheel or it's going to be the greatest movie you've ever seen. If you're bored one day and you have no idea what to watch, throw it on. It's not a bad time. It's enjoyable. You're still going to get a couple laughs out of it, and you're still going to be awed by a few of the action set pieces. But as always, these are our thoughts about the film. We want to know your thoughts. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you planning on watching it? If not, as always, please tell us why. You can find us at Entertainment Expansion. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. As always, thank you for listening.